So let's take a look at some goals. Goals are great. Goals give you something to shoot for. Goals give you something to measure yourself by. But some goals you really have very, very little control over. Some outcomes that would relate to goals you have very little control over. Those are tough to set goals too much for. But the ones we're going to talk about today, you have a lot of control over. These are great places to set goals. Let's have a look. Well, there's a lot of things you don't have control over in golf. I thought I did everything I could to make that putt, actually pulled it a bit. Of course, I don't have control. What if I had hit a good putt and it hit a spike mark or just lipped out or something like that? You don't have total control over solid contact and direction for sure. And even if you did, or even if you do hit a good shot, there's all sorts of things can happen. You could get a bad bounce, you could roll into a bad lie, etc. So in other words, there's a lot of things in golf, most things, certainly as involve the ball and the course out there, that you don't have control over. So that was a 9-iron. That's, an okay shot, 20, 30 feet to the right of the hole. Don't have total control over that. What are some of the things you do have control over? Well, your preparation, certainly, your emotions, your self-talk, the kind of things you internalize throughout a round, your interaction with other people throughout the round. Now listen, we're all human. Nobody has total control over that, unfortunately, some more than others, but you have, in theory at least, you have a lot, to a large extent, you have a lot of control over those areas, the way you go about things emotionally on the golf course. Let me show you here something that's really interesting, kind of an interesting game you could play with yourself. Okay, Gary, I'm going to back up here. Maybe you can print these as I go, might be nice. I'm going to give you some space to do that if you can, these bullet points kind of. So here's the game. Let's say you begin the round, you're given $100, yours to keep, but during the round you get fines and you only get to keep what's left over. How about really strong reaction to a shot? If a really strong reaction, that would be $15. And if you toss a club, you can add 5 to that. How about just steaming especially on the inside? That would be a $10 fine right there. How about verbally berating yourself, even on the inside, or bad-mouthing someone else, that kind of language, that's a $10 fine right there. Then the last 3 are $5 fines. Excuses, making excuses for things that happen. How about course conditions, moaning about that, moaning about the weather or course conditions? I mean, that's another 5 right there. And then finally, overanalyzing and looking for sympathy when you hit a bad shot. It's kind of calling attention to it and looking for it that way. That's another 5. How much money would you have left over at the end of a round? Or picture a friend maybe that you play with. How many times do you think they'd come out of the round with much cash left to spend? Probably not much. Most people would be out of money long before the end of the round. Okay, let's try this 9-iron shot again here. That was a little bit better that time. That one's in there reasonably close for a possible birdie putt there. Listen, I'm telling you, if you're going to have success at anything, you've got to keep a little bit of records. Get a journal, or at least at minimum at the end of the round, privately to yourself, say, look, here's the things I was working on, not complaining as much or not getting as down on myself, or better interaction with my fellow golfers. Whatever it is you think that you need to work on, keep some kind of record, some kind of journal. I promise you, emotional patterns, these mental patterns, are as resistant to change as swing patterns are, that's for sure. But you can change them. You've got to stick with it, and you've got to give yourself the feedback. Now you may think, look, this guy's a golf pro down here in South Florida, he gets to play all the time. I really don't. I have access to the golf course. I'm thankful for that. I'm a busy guy, thankfully. The golf course is busy in season. There's all sorts of reasons, family stuff, why I don't play a lot of golf these days, certainly relative to what I once did. So when I get a chance to come out, geez, I don't want to waste my window there. I might only get to play once in 3-4 weeks. I don't want to go out and have a miserable time based on the poor performance and the little amount I'm playing. I've sort of rededicated myself to kind of keeping control here and setting goals that are good ones so I enjoy it. And I've got reasons too, the same as you may. I go out there, usually there's a student or two in the group and you're thinking, okay, I'm on trial now, I'm supposed to be this, knowledgeable golf teacher. What if I just play like an idiot? Well, that'll sap everything from you. So I'm in the same boat you are. I'm committed to the same things. Keep some records and you can shift this pattern. In the video in this series, Be Realistic, give you some interesting data there on handicaps, how they're averaged, help you think about what's really reasonable for you to expect in a round of golf. That might help you, be a little bit more in control of your emotions. Hope this is helping you.